tell you the story. This is how the story is. So my father and his father-in-law came out and were looking at property for them to purchase and relocate with the family from Tennessee. And so 810 was available with a vacant lot next door. So they moved here in 1949. 1949, around November, my mother brought the kids out because my father was here earlier with his father-in-law making a deal, and I guess get looked for work. And I think he stayed, so there was a little bit of a separation of time before the family came out, maybe a month or two or a couple of months or so. And so they came out, I think in November, because 9 months later I was born. And so I'm figuring when they first came in, they settled in right here, and they had that vacant lot. So then what happened was in, I think, 1952 is when he had built, and he moved into 814. And it was green at the time. And Mr. Robinson lived there, Mrs. Gray lived over there, Danny Araujo and his family lived straight across the street. And Mrs. Chipman bought 810 from him after he had finished building our house here in 14. So we moved here in 52. I was 2 years old. And we lived here until 1966 when he sold it. I think he sold it for $17,500 in 1966. So this is the house I lived here until I was 16 years old. 814. Front door, living room on the left side, the dining room den on the no, I'm sorry, that's on the left side. The living room is on the right side. August bedroom was the next room behind the living room. And I got a picture. I'll show you a picture of me and my dog laying in the front lawn right here, me and Chuck. And he's to this same wall. I trained him how to run and jump over that wall. And then he would come over to play. Well, I was just telling him to go home after that. It was just a trick for that time. Now my best friends in the neighborhood was Raymond. Raymond Williams was same age as I am. In fact, he was born on July 18, 2 days after me. And then 1 year younger than him was his brother Gerald. 1 year younger than him was Sonny. And 1 year younger than him was Louis. And then he had a daughter a few years younger than Louis. And the four of them and me, I mean, we were like running buddies. We used to play football and baseball out in the street, go to the park. We learned how to swim at Green Meadows Park, which is another park over a ways. And so that was my early life. They lived right here in this Dr. Brown house.
Was it a multicultural neighborhood or was it?
Oh, interesting you would ask that question. So when he bought this house in 49, there was one other black family, Candy and Carla's father. They built a house on there about the same time we built this one. And I think we were the first black families on this block, and that was in 49. I'm not sure how many others, but by the time I have a recollection of it, there were probably only about 2 or 3 white families left. And Mr. Robinson next to us, he stayed the longest because he was working at the Goodyear factory, which was over on Firestone. And the Goodyear, well, I guess because he was waiting for his pension and everything. So I think he left just before we did, maybe like 62, 64 around there sometime. I can't remember exactly when it was. Or he might have been here about the same time. I don't remember for sure. I wasn't really paying attention. But that concrete block wall is the same wall and this one was too, that was here 55 years ago.
Wow.
It held up. So this greenhouse is where Nanette and Annette lived. They were a couple of young ladies, and they had little children that lived with their mom. They were beautiful young ladies. And this house here is the first house in the neighborhood that had a swimming pool. And I remember working with the guy that was cleaning up and taking the trash out from the construction. He was gonna take it to the dump, and he said, "Oh, I was gonna ride in the back with the trash." And I was like, I remember when I was 12 or 13 years old. He said, "No, I can't let you ride back there, but you can ride up in the cab with me." All these houses were already here. The one that my father moved in from the freeway. Let me see if I can know which one that is. You know, I think it's this one here. 850. I believe this is the one that he brought in from the Imperial Freeway corridor and lifted up, because I remember the door was facing on the side, it wasn't facing on the front. So he and my Uncle Curtis put that down. He rebuilt that here in the spot, and that was one of those entrepreneurial projects that he worked on. The Trinity Church spot, this used to be where the Ruby's, the little community market that we used to come up here and buy candy and stuff and soda. So they sold out the little market, and apparently the church bought it. So in 1956, this was the first school I attended. 5 years old in the kindergarten class, and it was just 4 blocks away from where we grew up, 99th Street School. We were on 94th Street. And so I really don't remember that much about life here. I just remember meeting the other kids, and it was an interesting time in my life. My best friend and I were both students here at the same school, even though he was in a different class than me. And it was kind of nice. I had a chance to meet the principal, Marissa, I forgot her last name. And I sent her a picture of my class, my kindergarten class picture, so she'll send me anything else that she can find. I was hoping there might be some archives of older classes so I can see some of the other kids I grew up with. So that's pretty much it. 99th Street School. After my father decided that he needed to get off of 94th Street and move into a better community, finish raising his family, I guess. He bought a vacant lot. There was a dam up here, and there was a reservoir of water, and the dam burst. And hundreds of thousands of gallons of water came down and wiped out this whole neighborhood. This was back in 1964. And so there were vacant lots to do. And this was a vacant lot, and ours was a vacant lot. And I remember the guy that built it was a Japanese guy, and the guy was the same age as I, maybe a year behind me. He went to Dorsey High School. And this is the house of Van Buren Watts Sr., the second house he built, because the first house he built here was on 94th Street, and then in '66 he built this house. And that's pretty much where from 16 years old until we moved. After I came back from Oakwood, I was here 1 year, and then they moved out, sold it in '74. 74. And then they moved up to Sacramento, where my brother transferred. So this is pretty much all I can remember. Thing about that.
Mom and Dad got married December 28, 1975, and Dad carried Mom over the threshold of this apartment. They saved $2,000 during the first 6 months together and found a cute hillside house for only $20,000. Located in a community called El Sereno near Cal State LA, the plan was to be close to university so Mom could finish her degree. It was here I was conceived and lived for my first 6 months. During our stay here, Dad built a pigeon loft on the backyard hill and got Angus, our first Great Dane, and later got Hoss, our second Great Dane.
After getting married, we were living in East Los Angeles, not far from Went Memorial, because Vicki wanted to finish school and we thought we'd get our first place in and near Cal State LA. But next thing you know, we're starting a family, so we decided let's move back into LA. And so we found this house, a bedroom house here in 41st Place, and we paid $30,000 for it in 1978. Man was going on 2 years old. I think that summer, no, he was just a year old. Because we moved in the summer of '78. And he had just turned a year old in February. He was conceived here. And we stayed here until 1985. It was in 85 when we bought the house in Chino Hills. And we grew up here, went to LA Union from here. And I ended up coming around. Actually, the second story, they converted the attic into a living space. And so this was a nice experience for us. We liked the front porch, sitting out and being a part of the community. One of my best friends that I met from cycling liked the area, and he bought a house right around the corner from us. And so Mike Button was always close by. And that's pretty much the story of it's our second house, but it was the house that we have a lot more memories than the first one. And from here, had some challenges with the community, and later on, and we could see how it was an area we probably would not want to have our kids grow up in. So we moved out of LA, and that would be in Chino Hills, which is, I think, the next step up.
I remember actually absolutely nothing about this neighborhood, really. It looks totally different. I do remember the house. It's different yellow, I think. I remember holding my breath in the gutter, learning to hold my breath and swimming, getting the wind knocked out of me, trying to jump off this hill right here. Got the wind knocked out of me. I remember Dad's Porsche in the garage, working on that. I can't see it from here, but I remember the pigeon loft in the back and getting on the fence, climbing up with the grocery bag to the top of the pigeon loft, and then jumping off with the bag like a parachute from top of the pigeon loft. I remember that as well. But good memories right there. Good memories.
So we are coming up on the corner of Adams Boulevard, Western Avenue. And the building that you see in front of you is Golden State Mutual Building. It was built back in 1849. Black Gold Insurance Company. I worked there for almost 25 years. I learned how to be a professional, good information. I was able to take life's experiences there, and they paid for my actual master's degree at Pepperdine because they were confident in me for a future, and I promoted up to Vice President of Real Estate Lending and Director of Administrative Services. I would have finished my career there, but things changed at the end. I wanted to get out of LA, and I was fortunate to hook up with Riverside County for the rest of my career. That's my life at Golden State Mutual, 25 years working with some good people.
time of my high school life. Actually, no, and Townsend too. It's good times here in this house right here. My room is the one with the air conditioning. Been on it. From here was to go to La Sierra, then to Ayala. Had a great time at Ayala, playing basketball. Still keep in touch with a lot of people from Ayala. As far as this house here, we had Sheba, Magic, on the side of the basketball court. A lot of shots are up there, and sometimes when the ball go over, we have to hop the fence to this house where they had a collie. I'm not near that dog though. And they would have me actually Max is the dog. And the neighbors would have us feed the dog when they weren't in town, but they had an above ground pool. So we also helped ourselves to the pool. when
No,
we were out
that
of
was
town as
that
well.
was
It was above ground.
here.
Yeah, they're above ground. We used to get into the pool. I don't know if that was, they would appreciate that. Reliability, but yeah, I remember that too. So yeah, good times.
We bought this house in closed escrow in 1986.
March.
Paid 163, almost 164,000 for it. We stayed here for 11 years and sold it for 210. I could have waited a couple of more years and got more, but I was determined to get a little more elbow room, and we wound up after here going out to Riverside, and the rest is history. But this was Chino Hills, and a good 11 and 12 years that we enjoyed here. From here, we actually rented a house in Butterfield for Jason to finish his senior year. But I don't remember the street. I couldn't find that house if I tried. But this is the one that we were mostly known for. All of our friends and family would come and visit us here. So that's the Chino Hills experience.